What's up, guys? Dustin McDangles back here with another video, and this is the San Jose Sharks franchise mode series, guys. And we have just gotten into free agency at the start of the last episode. We did send out a few feelers before we ended that episode with Josh Ho-Sang, and then we also threw out a feeler to Boris Katachok, I believe is how you pronounce his name, for some replacement wingers for the players that we have lost. So definitely waiting to hear back from them, which would be awesome to get them into our lineup. But I also have a few other things that we might try and do here in this episode to try and shake some things up and get sort of the boys buzzing for next year. So let's go ahead and get into some of the changes that I'm thinking of doing, and let's start right now. So one of the things I was thinking was trying to poach one of these sort of lower players here in overall, but elite low potential here for B. Sims. I don't know what his first name is. He is a restricted free agent, but we don't have to give any picks up. So definitely going to put that feeler out there to try and get him into the lineup, which would be awesome to see just because Letang is getting up there in age. Not really wanting to sort of trade him right now, just with the defenseman sort of in free agency this year. There aren't a lot of good ones here when we sort of, if I can get this sort of back to where it should be. Noah Hannafin is pretty much the best overall defenseman, but we don't have the cap space for him. Next up is Shea, and he doesn't even fit our lineups, so we're not going to be able to sort of move Letang out, but I do have sort of a deal here in the works, and I will show you guys right now. So here is a trade offer here for the Vegas Golden Knights to send them Alex Tuch, we get Alex Tuch for Tomas Hertl, 2 picks, and Golubdin. Honestly, it is a bit much here, but Alex Tuch does fit our top line. He is 87 overall and would be a great addition to that top line if this trade does go through. The trade is rejected, so let's actually go ahead, and honestly, I'm okay with sort of giving up a second round pick. I don't know if I want to do a second round pick. I'd rather do 2/3 this coming year, since we have those 3 first round picks, to see if that goes through and the trade is accepted. So we did add a little bit of sort of salary to our lineup, but at least we got Tuch in to the lineup, which should be huge for our first line with Gensel, Larkin, and then hopefully Tuch fits in there, sort of replacing, what's his name? I'm blanking on his name. Evander Kane. Ho-Sang accepts, but Kachok, actually, Boris signs with the Tampa Bay Lightning. So, man, Braylon Sims actually going with another team. That's a bummer, honestly. But let's go ahead and take a look here at the other free agents we need to sign. Here we have a potential offer here for Luke Kunin. He only wants, he doesn't want that much, honestly, and I'd be willing to sort of give him sort of 2 years at 1.25. Honestly, wouldn't be bad. I feel like that's a great deal. He doesn't really fit any of our lines, but we could potentially use him as trade bait. So hopefully he does get back to us and sort of accepts our offer, so we can go ahead and sort of get sort of into sort of the season here, and hopefully, I don't want to hurdle back, and hopefully sort of get some good lines here, as Luke Kunin does accept the offer, so that is awesome to see there. So I will go ahead and simulate up to the regular season, or preseason, and we can go ahead and take a look at our lines. So here is our initial lineup, guys. Alex Tuch, Larkin, Gensel on the first line is pretty deadly with the +3. We even have a +3 here on our second line with Niederreiter, Domi, and Smith. Third line is Ho-Sang, Kunin, and Tyler Bertuzzi, who's up to an 85 overall, which is nice to see. I can't really move him up just because it gets rid of that +3, and I'd rather have that +3 up there. And then our fourth line again has that -1, so we got to try and figure out sort of who I can get on that line. It looks like Dahlin here isn't really going to be able to fit that first line, because I don't want to, the only line he really fits is that first line, and I don't want to do that. So It looks like the only person who doesn't really fit that third line is going to be Dahlin, so we're going to have to try and get rid of him and get in a fourth line player to sort of get rid of that -1. Looking at our defense here, Letang has taken a massive dip in the overall, so we have him on the fourth line. Merkley is up on that top line with Shavot, and then we have a +3 on Zubril and Slavin. And then between the pipes, obviously we have Samsonov, who's up to an 88 overall. We've got Brosset between the pipes as well as the backup goaltender. So things are not too bad here. Taking a look at the power play right now, obviously it's a sort of +1 right here. I want to see if I move Gensel up to that top pairing to try and get that all the way up, and it's not looking like it's going to. Get the +3 there if we sort of move that around, but then we don't have a defenseman on that second sort of power play. So let's, honestly, I'd be okay with moving Letang on that power play, but that gets rid of the +1. Let's check out Zubril and see if that does anything. That doesn't change anything there. Who doesn't really fit? Bertuzzi doesn't really fit. What if we move Merkley and Zubril? That keeps it +1. So I'd rather have the +3 on our main power play and sort of it even on the second. So that is totally fine with me, guys. Take a look here at our captains right now, and our captain obviously is Larkin. We've got the A on Gensel, and then Shavot with an A, which is honestly, I think that is perfectly fine for those. So let's go ahead and sort of get into this preseason here and see how the boys are doing. And then sort of after the preseason, obviously, we can go ahead and make changes if necessary. But let's go ahead, simulate all the way here to this final, or right after this final preseason game, and sort of see how the boys do with this new lineup. Trade here for Milroy and McTavish. Don't want to do that, as McTavish is actually, I set him as our first centerman on the AHL squad. So nice to see him going to be developing in the AHL. So far, we were out to a 3-0 start before we lose to the Flames, beat the Kings and the Coyotes, and then our final game against the Edmonton Oilers was a victory as well. So 6-1-0 for our preseason. Super awesome to see that. Let's take a look here at the stats. Larkin, 12 points in 7 games. That is a good sign to come, especially if he can stay healthy. That would be a huge boost to the lineup, guys, if we can sort of keep that going moving forward into the season. But we're actually going to sort of cut it short here. But I think we will go ahead and, right before I do end this video, let's go ahead and make the move to sort out that fourth line. And then we will take a look at the lineup and then end our video. So we have a trade offer here for Zach Hyman for Dahlin here. Obviously, it's sort of just a swap for centerman for a left winger to try and fill that fourth line. The trade has been accepted, so we will go ahead, go to our lines, and hopefully that can go through. It looks like we do need to call somebody up from the AHL as well to get somebody into the lineup. Obviously, we need to call Hyman up to the lineup, and I am thinking about bringing Blitchfield up as well, just in case we have possible injuries. So I will bring him up to the major leagues, and we can go ahead and take a look at our lineup. So Hyman into the lineup actually gets it to 0, so that's perfectly fine right now. So if we move Shore up to the third line, that will give us the +1 on all of our lines, or at least pluses on all of our lines, which is nice to see. So things are looking pretty good for the team right now as we look to get into the season and do well sort of moving forward in this season. But if you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to drop a thumbs up. Also, be sure to comment down below sort of what changes you guys want to see for the lineup, just so we can sort of build and improve upon things. We do have 3 first-round draft picks, so could possibly use that in trades or just save that up for the draft to get some top young talent moving forward. But again, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it, and as always, stay dusty.